way with a forecast that thankfully doesn't include much about wind.
Well, certainly a lot less than we've been dealing with. Now, each and every day this week, it's gotten less annoying. But it's taken some time to get to a point where we would maybe consider it tolerable. We're there now. We're finally at a point where maybe the wind gusts are around 15 to 20 miles an hour. And the numbers are coming up, too, which makes that easier to stomach. So it's 64 degrees up on top of the Palmer Divide. Beautiful view from Dutch Heritage Gardens. We do have some clouds floating over the Pikes Peak region. They're generally thin, might filter out the sun a little bit, but no more than that. Pueblo West closing in on 70. The wind is calm currently. You see a nice, partly cloudy sky there. It's beautifully clear out in Los Animas. And, of course, out here on the plains, this is where we've had the real strong wind gusts the last several days. Yeah, west at 9, that's not so bad. We've seen a few gusts around 20, and we're not saying you won't have any wind the rest of the day, but it's going to be an improvement. Skycast shows the clouds may build up a little bit more the rest of the afternoon as well, but again, we don't think they're going to blot out the sun entirely. And any of the green that you see on the map, an indication of a few sprinkles, shouldn't amount to much. Overnight tonight, the wind will be relatively light. Nice to be able to pass that along. And on top of that, instead of getting real chilly because of the light wind, the air overhead will continue to warm, so we don't think we'll drop out of the 40s in most of eastern Colorado. Higher terrain will have some 20s and 30s, not a big surprise, but it'll be a warmer morning tomorrow than what we've had the last several mornings. And then during the day tomorrow, looks nice and sunny early. We'll probably see an increase in clouds late in the day, but the temperatures are going to continue to rise, likely into the 70s and 80s in eastern Colorado. Even the high mountain areas will be in the 40s and 50s, and the big valleys should manage to reach the 60s and 70s by tomorrow afternoon. So a nice looking start to the weekend. Shouldn't be too windy tomorrow. Speeds 5 to 15 miles an hour maybe. On Sunday, we'll start to see the wind pick up some. May have some gusts around 25 by Sunday afternoon. They could pick up further on Monday. So one of these 2 days, depending on the wind, could be a day where fire weather might be a concern, and we'll be tracking that potential. But obviously, it's going to stay nice and warm. Then as we move through the tail end of next week, we're going to get colder. Exactly how much colder and which day we'll have that bigger drop-off is a little bit uncertain. But when the colder air gets here, we'll have a chance for some showers and maybe even a little thunder somewhere. Pueblo will go into the upper 80s on Sunday. A few spots on the plains will likely hit the 90s Sunday. Only a slight bit cooler on Monday, and then we'll start to see the air conditioning get turned on again a little bit. By the middle of next week, we'll be talking 50s and 60s, with lows perhaps dropping back into the 30s. So we're not out of the woods yet as far as the colder air is concerned. Canyon City, look for lower 80s right on through the weekend. Of course, Monday is May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. Any extra plans you might have as a result of that should work out fine as far as the weather is concerned. 70s on Tuesday will fall back into the 50s and 60s at some point later on next week, at which point we'll see about maybe picking up a few showers. Mountain areas in Teller County should have 60s throughout the weekend and into early next week, and then we'll wrap up next week in the 40s with some cold rain showers, perhaps even a little bit of wet snow. Doesn't look real organized or real heavy at the moment, but that's a ways off, so we have some time to fine-tune that.
Oh, maybe a nice weekend to get started on some early spring planting, get the crops in.
Yeah, I haven't done anything in my yard yet this year. It's either been too windy or it's been snowing or I just haven't had time. So yeah, I might have to pull a little bit of that stuff off this weekend.
All right. Thanks, Marty.